I don't think I'd be able to manage to stay in my house for too much longer.
Getting the college experience.
You got to make better decisions.
Put a bunch of kids with minimal supervision together in a place they've never been, with people they've never met. Everyone just wants to make friends.
I just moved into Syracuse University, and within the first few days there was already a big incident that made national headlines and made us worried about whether we would continue to be here as students.
Oh my God.
Syracuse University.
So because of all of that, there was a lot of concerns of whether the school would shut us down and send us all home, or even if the state itself would shut down the school because, you know, obviously that gathering was larger than the state mandate of 25 people. But at least as of now, there haven't been any big spikes in COVID cases, and the school has actually done a really good job of keeping things socially distant and safe, and we're actually really lucky to be one of the last schools, especially in the Northeast, that still has a good portion of in-person classes and is still having a pretty solid campus experience with some restrictions. So I figure I'm in a unique position to share with you what it's like to be in an in-person campus during this COVID pandemic and share some people's opinions on whether we're about to get sent home or whether we're gonna be sent home in a couple weeks or whether we'll make it for the whole semester. The first and most obvious thing you need to do on campus is wear masks, and you need to wear masks everywhere you go on our campus. Hanging out with your friends, walking to class, asking for someone's Snapchat. For anything except being in your room alone with your roommate, you gotta wear a mask. And then even when you are in your dorm building, you can't have more than 4 people wearing masks in your room or 5 people with masks in like a lounge area. And so freshmen have had to get kind of creative with how they meet friends outside of just their dorm.
I think it's much harder to make friends, and I didn't anticipate that.
We're still meeting a lot of good people, but it definitely does make it harder.
It's just the dorms thing is the big one, you know. We can't go into other dorms, so it's tough to meet people from other dorms.
There's not much you can do like on weekends besides like hang out outside of your building.
With people outside of your dorms, it's much more difficult.
Both of us quarantined on campus, so I feel like that helped a lot in the sense of like making friends because we were kind of forced into the same small group of people.
It's kind of making it a little bit harder, but I think I'm still managing.
Would you still have come if you knew what it would be like?
100%, I think it's worth coming.
Depends on if we get kicked out or not, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's much better being here. It's really hard to learn online, and I think being in the classroom with masks is totally fine.
It's definitely worth coming back.
I don't think I'd be able to manage to stay in my house for too much longer.
I really prioritized getting the college experience.
It's really important to see my friends.
I'd rather stay and have stricter rules.
Like at some point it's going to be hopefully like back to normal.
With schools all around the Northeast fully online and nearby schools like SUNY Oneonta shutting down, the question now becomes whether we'll make it through the semester, if we'll shut down due to an outbreak, or if the school is just going to wait till our checks clear and ship us back.
I don't think we're gonna make it to the end of the semester. Hopefully we make it to like October.
I'm looking at this from an optimistic standpoint. I know this isn't like the popular opinion, but I think we'll be here the whole time.
I don't know. People are placing bets, but end of September.
There's not even double-digit cases yet, and we've been here for 2 weeks.
Kind of have a feeling we're gonna get sent home early, but I hope we don't.
It depends on what happens from now till November.
I think we're gonna make it to the end of the semester.
We'll make it to like mid-October.
Everyone should be responsible, and we will make it to November.
As long as nothing like the quad happens again, I think we're okay.
A few days after freshmen got to campus, a huge group of students gathered on the quad, making headlines and prompting around 23 suspensions. Most everyone agrees the gathering was reckless and irresponsible, but there is some controversy about the university's role in the incident, with some students reporting that campus security had been at the quad for longer than they officially claimed, and that they even told the smaller, original crowd that they could stay as long as they wore masks.
I think there could have been more measures taken to prevent that. When you put a bunch of kids with like minimal supervision together in a place they've never been, with people they never met, everyone just wants to make friends.
You got to make better decisions than going and gathering a couple hundred people here, but at the same time, you know, the school should have laid out, you know, you can't do that. They should have said that.
DPS definitely did not step in when they should have.
I think it's both. I definitely think the freshmen should be more responsible.
DPS officers were like standing there for a while and like waiting to actually do something about it. DPS probably saw it build up.
I think it's mostly the freshmen. They know, like it's It's not time for parties.
The students that were out at the quad were the ones following the rules with their mask outside, and I think that there should have been like mandatory activities to meet people in your dorm or in other dorms as opposed to just like letting us loose and not giving us any direction.
They shouldn't have done it.
Right.
It wasn't a great idea. I heard that like DPS was kind of standing there for a while and not doing anything.
Luckily, there are no known cases that spread from the incident at the quad, and since then, students have found a lot of good ways to stay social while being socially distant.
There's a lot of things to do in Syracuse where you can be outside.
There's a pool table.
You know, it's good to go out in groups and see, you know, new groups of people that you can interact with and meet, obviously under that 25 people.
Just like spending time outdoors and eating.
I only need like a couple of friends to like hang out and like talk for like hours.